Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystal Lynn coming to you from Southern California. And I just wanted to get together tonight. There's so much going on in this universe right now, and there's so many amazing topics to be discussed during this time. And I have so many things I can't wait to share with you guys because I've really been doing a lot of studying and really thinking a lot during this time that we've all really had to go within. We've all had to be in this position of feeling protective of ourselves, protective of our families, protective of our futures. So tonight, I thought I would talk a little bit about the astrology. I hope you guys will join me. Love to hear your comments. Love to hear any questions, any thoughts you guys are having, just so we can make a connection. I think it's easy right now to feel really lost. I don't know about you guys. This feeling of, just wanting to be able to have those conversations with each other, those spiritual conversations, those metaphysical conversations, astrological conversations, something higher than this vibration that we're all on in this world right now. As we all know, we're facing a world pandemic. This has been going on for several months. Something that I think has taken us all by surprise, and yet for many of us who are, have been pursuing this spiritual journey, we've been feeling maybe like we've been isolated already, maybe like we've been social distancing already, focusing on our families, our homes, really preserving our energy. And I think for those of us who have been in that place the last few years, although our hearts are breaking, although we are feeling this universal connection between the world, I think at the same time we've been being prepared. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit tonight. Right now we are in the cycle of moving into our full moon this month. Right now, we're just a couple degrees away from the full moon moving into Scorpio. The sun is in Taurus. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. The sun, Mercury, and Uranus are all in Taurus right now. Taurus is our land. Taurus is our foundation. Taurus is where we plant new seeds. Taurus is where we plant the seeds of the future. It's that time of spring where, we're really wanting to start something new, something fresh. We've come out of a long, dark winter, haven't we? Cold. Many of us as astrologers have been talking, especially moving into January of this year. We've had Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, all in Capricorn. These are life-changing transitions. When we think of Capricorn, it's obvious that we can think about the government, about the laws of the land. When you think about Capricorn, when I think about Capricorn, I think often about building something. Let's say you're going to build a house, right? Well, the Capricorn is the one that's going to be the one to go down to the county and get all of the county, pay the county fees, follow the county rules. How do you build that house? You have to make sure that it's completely able to withstand all of the things, the storms, you know, longevity of this home, how it's being put together, what does the framing look like, is the foundation strong? That's the Capricorn. The Capricorn is the one who wants to build and make sure it's done right, and is willing to take the time to do it right. At the same time, on a negative side or a lower vibration of understanding, we've seen our government, the power, right, of our government being completely shooken to the core. For many of us, we can look and see that we're experiencing almost this reversal of power, right? This reversal of power that for so long we have been under the control of the government, of the way they, you know, the thoughts and the way we need to live life, our taxes, you know, our businesses, all of those things that we have to stay fully connected to a higher power. And right now as we speak, I mean, I'm just trying to talk kind of real with everyone tonight. We've been seeing our complete world, our governments, completely be shaken to the core, be falling apart. Like, we are looking at these people for answers for our life, right? What's next? How do we protect ourselves? And at the same time that that's happening, you know, there's so much division and fighting and anxiety and stress and ego and all of these things that are just being rattled right now. And it's really hard to respect the people in authority, whoever they may be, in your, you know, that you look to. Because right now, although there's another side of this, that the world is coming together. We all have been hit. I mean, this would be like being hit, you know, by a comet. The whole world being affected at one time. For that to happen, a lot of things have to come into play. Now, we can blame our government. We could blame outer, you know, sources, right? We can blame all of this for happening. But I think if we're really honest, if we really look at something this big, I mean, this has been being predicted for thousands of years that this would happen. There's been a lot of voices talking about, you know, calling this out for years and years and years. This is coming. So, you know, we can blame a lot of different scenarios, but the truth of the matter is, I believe something like this is a universal message from God himself. However you see that, from a higher power that's really, really shaking us all. And so how are we doing? How are we handling this? What are you guys seeing? Are you having any aha moments? Because for me, I've just been spending obviously a lot of time reflecting and being at home. I noticed one thing that's been so powerful is the fact that it almost seems as if time as we know it, is completely changed. You know, it's like the value of time. That feeling of hurrying, that we're running out of time, that we've got to hurry, that we've got to, you know, almost be running this rat race. All of a sudden, there's no time. There's no time that we can count on. Is there a time that this whole situation is going to end? Is there a time when we're going to come up with some miracle that's going to help us? Is there a time that we're going to come back to some type of life. What type of life are we going to come back to? Is it going to be what we had in our old times? Time has completely changed. And Capricorn, Saturn's been in Capricorn, rules time. So what does time feel like for us now? How can we take advantage of this? I've really been thinking a lot about handling this because I am a person that really feels the energy around me. Having a moon in Pisces, those of you guys who have Pisces in your chart, or any water sign, you guys are going to know. We're very connected to things that are happening that aren't even necessarily our own, and so it's really hard to stay focused. It's really hard not to fall down into fear or depression or sadness or heartbreak. And so I really have been looking at this time as a time to really make some changes, because now there is no time. At least in my world, at least for today, I'm not in a hurry because I'm not going anywhere. And so I'm really saying to myself, how am I spending this time that I do have now? The pressure's been lifted off of me. And maybe for you too, in a strange way. It's kind of like ditching school, but you've got a note from the doctor. You know what I mean? We're like ditching life, but we've got a note from the doctor, right? So I've been really making choices to find my joy again. And the great thing is, as we move into this energy, we've had Venus and Gemini. Venus and Gemini wants to have fun. It wants to gossip. It wants to talk. It wants to learn new things. It's excited about life, what's going on around. Another thing I've noticed in this energy is that there's a lot of energy dating back to, say, our high school friends. You know, Gemini really rules high school and those type of friends, those friends that we experienced life with when things were easy, when things were maybe, you know, we wondered what was going to happen in the future, but there was a freedom of, how do I look today? How much do I weigh today? You know, everything is just, you know, what am I going to eat today? When's this assignment due? You know, what friends, you know, parties and proms and memories. That energy is going to be really strong, especially the next 18 months. Going back to people that we had fun with, finding that joy again, finding that youth in us, finding that fun, that joy, remembering that time in our life. What can we do with that energy? What are we going to do with that energy? I think just having that connection back to those times and remembering what they felt like, remembering who we were at that time, where were we at? What were our dreams? Do they have any meaning for today in these circumstances? Literally, the North Node, as we speak, is moving into Gemini. It's at like 0 degree or 29 degrees. When the North Node moves, it goes backwards. So we've been in, the North Node's been in Cancer for the last 18 months. These are our homes, our families, our mothers, our food, our security, our real estate, our emotional security, right? We've been in a very emotional time. And now as the North Node begins to move into Gemini, I really feel excited about the fact that I see us connecting again more with our communities. You know, it's easy to be on the internet and, you know, especially like for myself, and for many of you guys can relate, being, you know, on social media the last 8 years and connecting and meeting friends across the world. I have some amazing friends that I've met and connected to, spiritual friends, and connecting to old friends and connecting to meeting new friends. And all that is exciting, but there's a side of us that we really don't have to show everybody all who we are. right? We're still hiding kind of behind this mirage, so to speak, of who we are. With the North Node moving into Gemini, I think we're really going to see our communities coming together. We're going to see ourselves helping each other as we begin to move out of these strict, shutdowns, in hopes that we can create a new energy and new opportunities. You want to remember also that Gemini does rule the lungs. So the next 18 months, issues of the lungs, of our lungs, of, what we've all been dealing with, all of these things are going to be coming to the forefront. The cool thing, and we've had a little tiny glimpse of it, is Mars and Saturn have been in Aquarius. Saturn has moved retrograde back into Aquarius, like for a little 8-week jaunt, and Mars moved there too. Now, Saturn is going to retrograde back into Capricorn until December. Okay? And so the question right now really is, what are we getting right now? What are we learning right now in this Aquarian moment, right? I think we're seeing a lot of, astrology is the language of Aquarius, of Uranus. And so we're seeing a lot of astrologers coming out now and talking. And even myself, I've kind of been behind the scenes for a while, just doing live, popping in and out. But suddenly my mind is like, oh my gosh, I've got a message. I've got to share all these things I've been learning now the last 18 months that I've kind of just been holding close to my own heart. Now I need to get out. I need to talk. I need to share. So the other thing about Aquarius that's so important right now is that it is the sign where we see scientific findings, where we see scientists find maybe, a remedy, for this issue that we've been dealing with the coronavirus. I hate to say the word because you get in trouble if you even say the word, which is another whole topic. But we can still speak our truth. We can still connect and allow this to change us for the better. And there's also an opportunity with Aquarius to really connect with our own physical bodies and our own medical care. How can we control and do right for ourselves and be healthy? Because it's scary all of a sudden, isn't it? To feel like, it's like Russian roulette every day. What's going to happen? But I have found that more than ever, this is the time that I've been connected to wanting to take all the years I've been studying and experimenting and trying, my years of herbal remedies and, meditation and spiritual connection and music and all these things that are strong healing power that we have that seem like everyday things. But now we have a chance to really ask ourselves, what can we do to strengthen ourselves so we're not just sitting ducks? Are there things we can do, right? And yes, there are. So the next 18 months is going to be about learning. As we move in December to this Saturn in Aquarius, it's going to be about really scientifically taking on issues in our world. The other thing, Aquarius has is the sign, we would say, has that social distancing, is a little removed, has a tendency to be more of the observer, the talk show host, where you're trying to bring out all the stories but not form an opinion, right? And Gemini there's a story unfolding. So this next 18 months, I think, is super important for us all. What story is unfolding for each one of us? Let's do it. Let's journal. Let's write it down. Let's share this time in history. Whether we're creating our own journals, whether we're sharing through the internet or on blogs, websites, YouTube, share your story. Come out. Have some fun. Let's have a little fun again. Because in having a little fun and laughing a little bit, it's going to raise our vibration. And the things that raise is what helps keeps us strong physically. You know, right now as we speak, we're at the tail end of Mars in Aquarius, okay? This is really, you know, the Aquarian, when we look at, especially when the moon's in Aquarius, for example, somebody's born with the moon in Aquarius chart or Aquarius strong in their chart, there's really a kind of a sense of this almost, you know, spiritual, Jesus-like teacher, somebody who has authority, somebody that people look to, somebody that people, you know, follow. And I think that there's a lot of people coming out right now that we have to question what they're saying. Are they bringing about negative things that aren't helpful to us right now, that are feeding more negativity in our minds, even the spiritual community? I want to know how I can have the power in my own life, the spiritual control, the spiritual power, the enlightenment to better myself and really make a difference, because Capricorn is all about leaving a legacy. There's a legacy happening right now in all of our lives. And it is scary because there is part of us that has to face on a earthly plane that there is a lot of death around us. You know, are we living through this? You know, what are those things that we can really, I mean, the realities we're having to face? How many days do we all have? Do we want to sit trembling in fear? Or do we want to do something? You know, write out those letters to your children, your family, and put them in a safe. Say those things you want to say to the people you love. We might not be able to see each other, but we're able to talk to each other through the phone, through the internet, through FaceTimes and all of that, right? Make those connections. There's a power in that connection. So, with the moon moving in, the full moon moving into Scorpio the next couple of days, I just want to encourage everyone to not allow fear and conspiracies and all those things. Not that there isn't truth in a lot of the things that we want to look at, but not to allow it to really just create paranoia or fear or depression, because a lot of things are going to come out this next 2 days in our world. A lot of things behind the scenes that has been hiding, especially as we see Sun, Mercury, and Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, again, reversal of power. Reversal. It's a U-turn. Try, and my encouragement to myself and to others, because we're all figuring this out together, right? Spending a lot of time in prayer right now and a lot of time in contemplation. And my heart's telling me, you know, to try to remember who I am. Not who I am in somebody else's perspective or in the world's perspectives. Who am I right now, here today? Right now. I missed talking about astrology, but I had allowed myself to get so bogged down. And part of me right now feeling that joy, wanting to have that fun, is what do I love to do? I love to look at the astrology and allow myself to feel that there's a blueprint, to see that there's a blueprint, and to watch it and observe it, like that journalist, right? And to see it unfold, it gives me strength. It gives me encouragement, and I want to share with others. And that makes me happy, you know? And I'm pushing myself out tonight and saying, you know what? I just want to be the one little voice amongst, you know, hundreds of millions of voices out there, to just share my little story. And I want to hear your story, to share my legacy. Maybe it won't seem as important right now as I'm sharing, But maybe there'll be a time we look back on this time and go, whoa, we want to be a part of it. I think that's a part for us to release and talk and connect and communicate with each other right now. Supporting each other right now, you know. So, I don't know. I hope there were some valuable things in some of the things I shared tonight. I have a lot more I want to share. I'll probably be coming back on as I move deeper into the next 2 days in this full moon, but I just wanted to just get some conversations going to let you guys know that there is love, there is strength, there is hope, there is joy. To take every chance that we can to laugh, to, you know, to build ourselves up, because that's the medicine. That's the medicine that's going to get us through this. As simple as it sounds, it truly is the medicine. So, this summer, Mars will be moving into Pisces. We'll talk more about that later. But as this energy is unfolding, as it's laying out before us, the miracles, the prayers, the dreams. Oh, sorry. I think my dogs are chasing a coyote. Uh-oh. There's a Pisces moment right there. We have what we need to rise above this. We have what we need to live the lives we're called to live. So let's gather tonight in prayer, light that candle at home, say those prayers, trust in that higher power. Because right now, that energy from heaven is coming in, and we'll be able to see on the other side. And we need to see. We need that escape. We need that dream again. So I'm hoping, again, this is uplifting. Love you guys. If you have any questions or you want to share anything, I would love to hear from you. All right. Well, I'll call it a night tonight. I'll probably be back for some more discussions. And if you have any questions about what's going on in the astrology, put them down below, and I'll definitely be willing to answer anything I can answer or discuss. All right? So have a good evening, and be safe, and let that joy come in. It's okay. We need it. Let that joy come in, and remember what that feels like to feel good, and allow yourself, give yourself permission to go back to the things you love and the passions that you love. So important right now. It really is a part of our universal medicine right now. And it's free. That's a cool thing. And you can do it from home. So, all right, you guys. Have a great evening. Thanks for taking the time to spend with me, and we will talk to you later.